We're here. What's good, guys? Your boy Hugo Savage back again for another Savage Talk Extra live. Impromptu. Weren't gonna do it. I ain't even supposed to be doing a live stream. I've got other stuff to do today. But I checked the comment section and a lot of people wanted me to speak about or speak on the latest episode of Dark Side of the Ring. Playing right from hell. So I'm here, man. I'm here. Obviously I don't expect a lot of people to be in this stream, or as if, you know what I mean? But obviously you can catch it later on the channel. I'll make sure I put it up. Shout out to Kevin Davis for that message, bro. Shout out to WWE Instrumental in the chat. Shout out to you. Shout out to Morris, of course. You know, like that. Demon Team, acknowledge me. You know, like that. Are we doing this today? Well, Morris, this is not actually. This isn't the regular Savage Talk. Obviously, we still got Thursday's one, so that's gonna, we're still gonna do that. But like I was just saying, many people asked in the comment section for this, asked to speak about, asked me to speak on this, and it's one of them things, isn't it? I feel like if I don't talk about it at all, it seems like I've got some, like I'm covering, I'm siding with what's going on, considering, that I have a comment for most things on wrestling, especially WWE. So, but yeah, shout out to everyone in the chat. WWE Instrumental, you already know. How was Raw for you? Yeah, we can speak about Raw for a bit because, like I said, this is the impromptu live stream. We can speak about whatever you guys want. Really, this is actually for you guys. So, and whoever who's watching it later on, definitely going to speak about the Dark Side of the Ring. That'll be the main topic. But we can go over a few things first. Raw for me was, if I had to give it out of a 10, I have to judge it on like a different basis now, Raw, because I feel like it's at the point now. It's pointless me judging it on the storylines and stuff because they just don't do it really. WWE Instrumental says that Raw was amazing last night. I mean, if anyone's seen my reaction, I said that Raw was it seemed good. It was better than it was. Obviously, when I'm doing my reactions, I'm still waiting for the next clip to come along. So by the time I got totality on it and I, reviewed the whole thing, looked back at it, I don't know. It's definitely the best Raw I've seen in the last however long, probably in the last 6 months, to be honest. Was it great? No, I don't think it was great. Was it good? I thought it was good, and was there matches that I thought were really good? If I take away the aspect of the storyline, which is weird because it shouldn't be, individual matches were really good. I enjoyed Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy, although the fans were a little bit dead, but I enjoyed Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy. Glad Jeff got a win as well. I enjoyed everything to do with the New Day and the Bloodline. There's a few segments what didn't need to be there. 24/7 stuff just ruined things to me. The whole, Morrison said it here. The whole, I don't even know how to put it, man. That tag team stuff, the women's tag team, is shambles, and I have to say this now, like, and it's nothing against you guys. I know I'm never talking about these people personally. It's always kept in wrestling. I can't stand Rhea and Nikki. I can't stand them. Everything seems contrived from the message that they were giving before about the about Connor's cure. Seemed like Rhea didn't even know what she was talking about. Like she was forgetting words and stuff. All this, like, put your hands in a V, and Rhea's gonna count to 3, and on 3 you're gonna put your hands in. I'm like, come on, man. Bro, these sick kids want a good show to watch. You know what I mean? They want to feel part of it. That was terrible. And the crowd was dead. Their win of the tag team championships was terrible as well. Finishing a roll up again. I don't particularly like Tamina and Natalia as a tag team, to be honest. But to be brutally honest, there isn't any more tag teams. There's actually no tag teams because I don't even know how to put it. They're possibly the worst tag team champions there's ever been in terms of booking. They lost 3 matches to Tegan Knox and Shotzi Blackheart. They lost to Nia and Shayna twice. They lost more than they've won, and now they've lost again. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Morris says gets a 7.5 out of 10. Best Raw since Mania. Feel sorry for Rhea. Those shambles. I don't feel sorry for her. She's not. I don't think she's. I don't think it's that good. Um, I honestly don't. Eva versus Dewdrop should be put on an Extreme Rules. It shouldn't have been put on at all. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be put on at all. I don't have anything against both women. It's just a feud that no one cares about. And when I mean no one cares about it, no one cares. You can hear in the crowd that everyone thinks it's a shambles as well. Um, it's an Extreme Rules match between Finn and Roman. Has that just been confirmed? Because earlier on Raw, it didn't say Extreme Rules match, but at least there's something extreme. We need to talk about that as well because I do believe that. Well, I feel that the WWE. I think it's time to get rid of the matches. I mean, the pay per views named after matches now because it books you into a corner. Um, Things like Hell in a Cell, TLC, Extreme Rules, and apart from Royal Rumble, get rid of the rest of them. Um, Shout out to What's Up. How are you? I'm all right, bro. Oh, shout out to What's Up, man. Man reporting live from Twitch, like that. Let's acknowledge WWE copying AEW election Charlotte. I mean, I don't think they were copying, bro. You gotta remember they were the booking of the segment and the way they've been going has been coming for the last couple of weeks, whereas the Britt Baker and Ruby thing was just last week. I didn't mind both segments, to be honest. I just thought that the one between Charlotte and Alexa was way too long, and at this point, I don't want to see Alexa as this gimmick anymore. I just don't think it hits. And I actually liked her in the beginning, but I liked her in the beginning because it was with Bray. I thought she was incredible, but now nothing makes sense. Nothing feels like it makes sense now. Her music doesn't feel like it makes sense. The whole doll thing doesn't feel like it makes sense. Her acting like a brat doesn't make sense anymore. Simply because the whole thing was getting these powers from Bray. All the stuff what happened to Bray at WrestleMania now. Thinking back, feels even more stupid because Alexa should be champion already. She got powers in it. You know what I'm saying? Um, so happy WWE finally turned heel. WWE finally turned heel and put him. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think you meant to put Humberto. Um, yeah, I'm glad they're together, but it still makes no sense. They are cousins in real life, but if everyone's forgetting that Angel Garza was beating the shit out of Humberto a few more months back when he was with Zelina Vega and Andrade, and he was dissing him, so it's fine, but just build a story around it first. Have them both. We always joke about catering. Let's feed into it. Let's have them sitting in catering together. Both not being used and coming together. You know what I mean? But we just get them on. We'll see. They're not going to win anything, and if they do win the tag team titles, they'll have it for 3 weeks. But I do like both of them, and I think they're really good wrestlers. Even needs to face someone like Liv or Sasha. Yeah, I don't. You shouldn't give somebody like Eva Liv because the way their characters both work. She needs somebody who's gonna. I don't know. I think the only way you save Eva now, and they ruined it because all the vignettes she had, all of them evolution vignettes were actually really good, but they ruined it instantly. So what they needed to do is maybe somebody like Shayna, now that she's snapped on Nia, they might need somebody like Shayna to beat her up really bad to the point where you know she needs someone's help to train her to get back at Shayna. Kayfabe story. So maybe I don't know. They probably use someone like Natalia in it because she's been there so long. But someone like Natalia trains her up. And she gets match ready. She fights Shayna. She still loses, but she puts on a good show just to get the fans behind her, and then she can become a babyface. Because I guess they do this heel thing with her because fans really don't like her, but you can always get them on side. Yeah, I agree. She does need to feud with someone more experienced, way more experienced. So, but the triple threat match was the best match of the year for Raw. Okay. I missed you first, man. Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza will be a very good team. Yep. The triple threat match was really good. Um, I can't say if it's the best match of the year on Raw because I can't think off the top of my head before, but I'm pretty sure every Raw before WrestleMania was matches where it was like McIntyre versus someone. McIntyre versus Sheamus was a really good match for me, but I do believe the triple threat match probably was the best. I found it a good match. WWE instrumental. I believe WWE only used the kiddie gimmick for Alexa because, no offense, she does look like one, but we need the goddess. Well, you've said it in the message. Whether they think she looks like one or not, or she can portray a kid or connect with kids. We had the goddess before, and she didn't look like a child. You know what I mean? And on top of that, Pablo, come on. Sorry, it's savage. Pablo, come here, mate. Um, yeah, considering all the stuff we've had before and how open she's on social media about stuff, kind of time to forget that childish thing now. You can connect with the kids without acting like a child, without acting like superheroes and all that stuff. We've had it for years. We were all children and loved WWE, and I wasn't connecting with superheroes. So, you know what I mean? My favorite wrestler of all time is The Rock. Everyone knows that. You'd never seen The Rock act like a child in my life. Austin, Angle, Triple H, Jericho, Edge, Guerrero, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. I can go on. I've never seen these people acting like children. So, Humberto and Garza are the new age Los Guerreros. Garza being Eddie and Humberto being Chava. I'm here for it. If they can pull it off, I'm here for it. It's big boots to feel like Eddie. Come on, but I'm here for it. They need to remove the women's tag team championship. I said this last week. Remove it. Bring in a intercontinental title or something like that. Because here's my opinion on the belts. I was actually one of the people that said maybe a year before that they needed tag belts, but bear in mind, I said it around the time of the women's evolution, and the card was stacked with women. It was so many women, and they couldn't all get on the card. We ended up having like loads of 5-woman matches and 10 women matches. These big tag team matches where each one would get like 10 seconds. So I said bring it in, but then they started releasing people, and we got left with one tag team, and then Tamina and Natalia got together, and then Shayna and Nia split up. So there's literally, if you look at the card now, there's actually no tag teams on Raw or SmackDown for the women, like proper tag teams. So I don't know if you can count Shotzi and Nox because one, Shotzi changes tag team partner every week. Two, they're just backstage. And as far as I'm concerned, they still belong to NXT, but I don't know. But also, my problem is, and you'll see this now with what I'm saying because you'll start figuring it out with Liv Morgan and people like that. There's no stepping stone for women to make the next step to a title. And this is why it feels like women are being forced, the title's being forced on people. There's a few women that I thought at the time probably shouldn't have been champion, but they ended up being a good champion. I think Carmella, when she first won it, I didn't think she should have been champion, but she was pretty good. But you need a stepping stone. You can't go from being a woman who doesn't even get shown on the show. They don't even get a match to having one match and then winning the title. You need something in between. Even NXT did that with the North American title, and people like Ricochet never had the NXT championship. Pete Dunne's not had the NXT championship. So if high-level athletes like that can't win the championship, and they've had the stepping stone title, Priest never won the championship, then everyone should be able to do that as well, and that's how they should keep it. Shout out to King Court. Sorry I'm late, man. Don't worry about it, bro. This is a random show. We're gonna have Thursday's one anyway. Why did Eva even return? Let's face it, there's no one to feud with her. I don't think that's fair because would say the same thing about any woman turning up. You know what I'm saying? Like at the moment, they're not building proper storylines, but I do believe they could have had something for her if that evolution gimmick wasn't, and it was a waste of time. It was a waste of time. All the vignettes were a waste of time. They were good at the time that happened. We was expecting to see something new. I gave my opinion on what I thought they probably should do with her. I would have went down the proper wrestling route. I would have made it her using just basic wrestling moves in the ring, old school, real. You know what I mean? To make it look like she's had all this time off from wrestling and she's come back a badass. But they didn't do that. Morris or make 205 live for kids. 205 Live is actually not childish at all. It's just no one cares about it. Kind of like main event, which doesn't need to be there, but we're going to speak about main event because Keith Lee was on main event, and I don't know if you guys know that about Keith Lee's new name, but I'm not happy about it. But what can I do? What do you think will happen with Naomi? I would go down the route of, because it's looking like it's building towards Sonya Deville in ring return. I would have Naomi seek the help of Paul Heyman. Maybe after because we're gonna have SmackDown this week. Maybe at Extreme Rules she turns up, and then she seeks the help of Paul Heyman because Sonya's not listening to her, and they go down that route, and then we get her joining the Bloodline, and then Badass. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to Brocky Kaiser in the chat. What up, Savage? Hashtag Demon Team. I think Alexa is been more of a Harley Quinn character because to me it looks like the supernatural stuff has started to disappear and the crowd really like her. She gets good pops. Yeah, they'll always pop for her because no one dislikes Alexa. I don't think she's the Harley Quinn character. We've had Alexa as the Harley Quinn character. I've got wrestling figures of her as the Harley Quinn character. She was really good as that, but this is completely different. But yeah, Keith Lee, he had a dark match on WWE main event, and the commentators referred to him as Keith Bearcat Lee. Keith Bearcat Lee. It just makes me sad, bro. Like Bearcat, there's no way. Pablo, hey, no, you can't do that, bro. There's no way that they've gone from doing what they've done to Keith Lee. No, go and do what they've done to Carry On. And now we get this with Keith Lee. Who the hell is referring to Keith Lee as this? Like, you have to listen to what I'm saying. They didn't even get rid of the Keith Lee and just called him Bearcat. They called him Keith. Bro, I don't even know what to say anymore. But it's crazy. And they ruined Keith Lee, either push him big time or put him on NXT 2.0. Yeah, exactly. As for Nia Jax, I think she's getting taken off TV until they decide whether they want to add her to the bloodline. And they are terrible with their stories because 2 weeks ago, Nia decided to build her as a beast again. She was destroying everyone on the roster. Today, she's squealing like a pig, and Shayna's the one who's destroying everyone. But that's what, honestly, this is what I come to expect. So I'm not shocked by it at all. Let's wait and see. It was a dark match. It was a main event. So as far as we know, they could end up having it where he gets back to the main roster and they just give it up. They forget about it altogether. So, hopefully that's what happens. Shout out to Jacob in the chat. The hashtag Demon Team 100. Yeah, shout out to you, bro. What's up, Savage? Damn, I'm definitely not reading all of that, but yes. Vince and Bruce still live in the 90s, and they think names like that are good nowadays. Yeah, I agree. It's a bit backwards. And why is Shayna bring emotional was? Yeah, that Shayna thing's actually stupid. I know a lot of people enjoyed it, and I'm not getting at anyone for enjoying it. But when you look at it properly, why would Shayna ever be sad about doing this to Nia Jax? They were hardly like really close friends. You gotta remember, there wasn't supposed to be a tag team in the first place. They ended up being tag team champions. Then they slightly started to like each other a little bit. But there's no bad blood between them where she should be doing that to Nia's arm and then being sad about it. Also, on top of that, no one cares anymore. Like, Shayna was running away from Lily 2 months ago, and then they took her off TV. So it's very weird to me. We'll get into a few more stuff, and then obviously we're going to talk this. Plane Ride from Hell. Now, I'm not expecting everyone in the chat to have watched the documentary already. I'm not expecting everyone to know what's going on, but if you've been about a little bit, you probably know what's been going on. I do want to cover this now, just so you know. I don't want to spend too much time on it. If you haven't watched the documentary already, go watch the documentary. It's on YouTube. You can find it for free. And on top of that, yeah, it's just I don't want to go into every little detail of what happened in the documentary, but yeah. Morris, yeah, you're right, bro. Morris says, I'm sure I've heard about this story already. So everyone, so I'll explain it, Morris. I'll go through it properly. Let me get myself back on the screen. Let me just answer these comments and then I'll get to it. You did hear it from back in the Attitude Era. Fun fact: I was actually at the pay-per-view they were on the way back from when this happened. So, but obviously the stuff that's come out now, from the point of view of the air hostess who was on the plane, needs to be spoke about because people are getting cancelled and all sorts. So, the few things we're going to talk about today, so we'll get into it anyway. How do you say no one cares when there's plenty of people that do care? This is the Shayna we all want to see. I can say no one cares. And you obviously not listening to what I'm saying to you. You go and watch my reaction, you can see that. Oh, actually, I even wrote on Twitter, this is the Shayna that everyone loved. But if you want to ignore everything what's happened and you're able to do that, then well done to you. I can't ignore everything what's happened. I can't ignore the badass Queen of Spades Shayna, who was unbeaten for so long in NXT and destroyed everyone. The fact that she was running away from Lily, I can't do it. I can't ignore the losing streak she's been on in the singles stuff. I can't ignore that they just put her in a tag team for no reason. They didn't need a dominant tag team in the tag team division because there's hardly any tag teams. So that's what I'll say about that. Morris, I'm sure, yeah, for backing out to the Shawn Michaels scandals. So this one's not about the Shawn Michaels scandals, bro. There's been plenty of scandals. The reason why I'm speaking on it is because obviously it brings up the topic of, in the things, I don't even know how to put it, sexual advances towards women, the drugging of women's drinks, stuff like that. So in the documentary, you get a little bit more insight to the stories you've heard. But obviously, when that story happened, there wasn't no social media at the time, and it was just put down as a crazy, plain story where Mr. Perfect and Brock Lesnar were having a fight on the plane and stuff like that. But the details behind it and what the staff had witnessed was something that was left out, which is fair enough. Now, a lot of people are talking now saying, why didn't the staff come forward earlier? Why didn't she did? The woman did. She was told by a plane company to keep it quiet, told by her husband to keep it quiet as well. But obviously, there's a few people that's come out worse than others on this documentary. Brock Lesnar came out pretty bad. The story with him and Terry Reynolds of him revealing himself to her. There's Tommy Dreamer sticking up for Ric Flair's antics, where apparently Ric Flair. Well, I mean, we knew that there was something with Ric Flair and his robe, being naked under his robe and stuff like that, but there's apparently the part where he's walked up to the air hostess and kind of cornered her and tried to goad her into touching him and stuff like that. And obviously in the documentary, Tommy Dreamer seems to kind of stick up for what Ric Flair was doing and kind of brushed it off as this is just regular boy stuff. My views on it are my views what I have about women anyway. I'm not disrespectful like that. And to be honest, nobody would want that for their sister, for their mom. And I think that's where people disconnect from stuff. They're all happy to be like, if you see Twitter, if you just write it on Twitter, you'll see loads of people, this was back in the day, this is different times. Now, my thing on this is, does something that's different times mean that it's okay? No. Does it, like, whether, so if these people have changed their life now, does that mean that there should be no repercussions or they shouldn't be held accountable for what they've done back then? Because whether it's different times or not, the air hostess is still, she still had to live with it and things like that. And like I said, I don't want to harp around about it too much, but yeah, some people should be held to account. The Scott Hall stuff, the reason why I never brought up, because that's well documented. You can see the court documents online and stuff like that as well. But Ric Flair's been cancelled. from a lot of things. I don't agree with the whole cancel culture thing, so I'm not going to pretend like that's a thing what's happened. But yeah, he's been cancelled, bro. WWE? Well, I'll say WWE first of all the car ads he was on, he's been removed from at the moment. Tommy Dreamer's been he's been suspended from Impact Wrestling. If I don't know if anyone noticed at the beginning of Raw, and you know the WWE intro before Raw starts, before SmackDown starts, where it normally has like the flashes of retro wrestlers, and then it's got the woo and the thing changing. It's all gone. It's all gone now. Ric Flair's not on there. They removed the Ric Flair cartoon um, of WWE stories off the network. There's if you go on you guys check for me because in England, if you go on WWE shop now, there's no Ric Flair merchandise. It's all gone. Like they've removed the merchandise off the. So obviously, people are taking it serious. Now, repercussions and what should happen for me. The victim wasn't in the documentary trying to slander Ric Flair. She was just speaking about her experience. Obviously, it was 20 years ago now. Is dealing with repercussions of losing work and stuff now. Probably shouldn't be allowed to work. If that's the case and the woman had to deal with it, then he might not be able to work in the wrestling business unless AEW just go along with it because it seems like AEW have dropped what they were going to do. I think the plan was to make him the manager of Andrade after he turned on Chavo last week, but I can't see that happening now. I mean, luckily for Vince, I guess him and Rick parted ways like 3 weeks ago now, 4 weeks, which was mad timing. But Rick has spoke on this. He's put a statement on his Twitter, on his Instagram. He actually had the recorded podcast with Renee already, and then he was about to come out 2 days after the documentary, and he's told them to put it on hold now. But apparently, well, I say apparently, I've seen the script, and he kind of said that none of this is true, and he's already give his account of things on the 30 for 30 ESPN documentary what I watched. And he said he's put his life on the line and let everyone know all the stuff he was into, the things that ruined his life already, and that this is not true. Now, I'm not the person to believe the victim and not believe the other person. I kind of leave it up to, whatever evidence I see, whatever witness accounts you get. And to be fair, Rick says he never done it, but from the accounts that you hear the people talking about on the plane, the wrestlers, it sounds more like what he did. Do I think it's disgusting? Yeah. I don't like the counter culture thing I've said before. And I think the people who are damning Ric Flair completely and are talking about Ric Flair go to hell and all this business. Yes, people can change. Rick's obviously changed his life now. He seems completely different to how he was back in the day. It's not really up to us, you know what I mean? It's not up to me to cancel anyone. It's down to, how everyone else feels. Shout out to David Tate in the chat. What I will leave up to people. That's actually kind of crazy because you can probably see the Ric Flair pop on in the background. So, but what I'll leave up to people is this isn't the first WWE scandal there's ever been. It's just because things happened before doesn't mean that you can use that argument about it was in the past. But there's been things what have been pretty bad from some of your favorite wrestlers, and people have just ignored it and got on with it. Now, I know that people tried to speak to Brock Lesnar, the documentary Dark Side of the Ring tried to get involved, and Brock just didn't want to speak to them. And I'm a bit worried for Rick in terms of, he has, and I don't mean worried as in like I don't think he deserves anything, you know what I mean? But I'm actually speaking in like their next documentary, the next person they're doing it on is Chris Kanyon. Now, Chris Kanyon took his own life. I think Chris Kanyon might have been the first openly gay wrestler. If you don't know who Chris Kanyon is, you might have to Google it or look back on the network and stuff from before. But I remember him being on Howard Stern and talking about the troubles he went through in the wrestling business, being openly gay. because I think there was a problem with it being in WWE and stuff like that. And at the time, Ric Flair had sided with WWE, but the problem is on the Howard Stern show, he phoned in while Chris Canyon was there, um, and yeah, he kind of spoke on certain things. Now, these are not things that I think are damning to a personality, but it's 2021 and things are different now. And I remember Rick saying that Canyon being gay was a choice. Now, to me, that doesn't sound like a big statement. Loads of people have thought that over the years. And you change your mind when you learn more stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about education and learning. I'm not about just like getting rid of people for, um, I don't know, for almost being ignorant to things. You know what I mean? Some people just don't know stuff. So I'm not about damning people just for being ignorant. It's just once you know, you do better. Um, I'm pretty sure I've probably had it somewhere in my life where I've not known something. I've said certain things and then I've had to change my mind and look at, other things. But the fact that he said that on there, that it was a choice, him choosing to be gay. Bear in mind, Canyon on the show said he felt like killing himself, and then he did kill himself. I can't see after this Plane Ride from Hell documentary that next week, when that documentary comes out, that it's going to get any better for Rick. I honestly can't see it. Um, Probably going to get worse. So yeah, I kind of leave it there, and I'll let you guys look into other stuff. I will leave it at the fact that if you're at the point where you're saying F Ric Flair, F Tommy Dreamer, F Brock Lesnar, F Dustin Rhodes, that's fine. Or if you're just at the point where you're kind of like how I am, where I'm not surprised by anyone being a piece of shit. I kind of take wrestling for what it is, and I try not to connect with too many wrestlers old school in real life. In like, I don't try not to connect with them personally. There's certain ones like The Rock and stuff that meant so much to me over my life that I like him personally. But if anything came out about The Rock and it was true, fuck The Rock, and I can't do nothing about it. But his wrestling lives on, and of course it depends on what crime as well. And some people just say things, and you can kind of get past it. We've had stuff with Ric Flair before, calling Teddy Long a nigger and things from the past like that. You know what I mean? So I don't. It's one of them. If you can learn from it, safe. If you've not shed any blood and if you've not hurt anybody too much or hurt anybody physically, then sometimes I feel like you can come back from it. If you can't and the person don't forgive you, then you can't. But I would urge people to stop defending these people. If you don't agree or you still like the person, just don't publicly defend them, because you're not thinking about the victim. The woman has had to see Ric Flair the whole 20 years thinking that this geezer was trying it on with me in an inappropriate way. Now, she got upset in the documentary, but as I said, she wasn't just talking rubbish. So that's the kind of thing that I'll say on that. And just remember that there's a lot more wrestlers. We saw with the speaking out movement, there's a lot more wrestlers who have done certain things, damning things, that you've either forgiven or ignored, and you've just continued to support them, and they're your favorite wrestlers and stuff still. I remember when I was a little bit younger, 2000s, probably around this time. Was it around this time with Austin and Deborah? I know it was the addict with two wives and that were the domestic violence cases. But I remember in particular Deborah, because obviously she was a part of the WWE, where yeah, he had beat the shit out of her. And there's even an interview with Deborah on YouTube I watched not long ago of her talking about being beat up by Austin and stuff, and she was kind of saying that she felt like it was the steroids and he was seeming paranoid. But you can't just blame it all on steroids. But everyone loves Austin, Hall of Famer, most people's favorite wrestler. So you can't have to take it like that. But I'll leave it there. And we'll speak about something else, because obviously it's a little bit damning. While we got on the bottom of the screen, okay, Owen Hart is AEW. That's the statement that Jericho put up. Owen Hart is AEW, so that's why I put it like that. AEW and Owen Hart's wife have decided to, they've created a relationship together where the Owen Hart Foundation will be represented by AEW. I think in the future they're going to have a kind of like the Dusty Cup in NXT. They're going to have I think the tournament's going to be called the Owen, and you win a trophy at the end. Something to kind of honor Owen Hart and helps with the Owen Hart Foundation, and it's a tribute to Owen. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. I think for too long, obviously, I understand that whatever his wife says goes, kind of, and if she doesn't want WWE representing a husband, that's fair enough. We've had Bret Hart on AEW. I think he unveiled the AEW Championship. Um, so if that's the case, then that's good, man. Anything where Owen Hart can, where his legacy can live on, I think's dope. It is a shame that it's not WWE because that's where he's done his best work, but it's pro wrestling, man, and yeah, we love pro wrestling. So, Durante says, Chief Savage, what the f is a Keith Bearcat Lee? That Bearcat is his new name, bro. Keith Bearcat Lee. That's his new name. I'm hoping that they change it. I'm hoping that they change it. Pro Wrestling Savage. Remember, Undertaker was married to Sarah in 2001. Wall that Austin Deborah thing happened. Yeah. That exact thing, bro. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, and I'm not on the side of any of these guys. I'm kind of always on the side of you're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. That's it. You know what I mean? But people are too into these guys' lives. Like these people mean so much to them that they can't. You know what I mean? And I'm saying, like, of course the jury's out, and it's always, innocent until proven guilty, unless it's a damning thing and you can just see. But you can see from the people in the documentary, from the other wrestlers, that even the woman that said that Dustin had to be the one to move Rick away from her and stuff like that. So, and we know the Scott Hall story. Brocky says Ric Flair Dreamer should face with the consequences for what they have done, or in that case, Dreamer for what he said. The past always comes to haunt you. May ignore it, but it can never be escaped. I agree. I don't think it's just them two. Obviously, there's the whole Brock Lesnar thing as well. I know he's big money for WWE, but if there's no apology and people are just going to ignore, not even speak on anything, then it's kind of damning, isn't it? Ric Flair obviously said that he didn't do anything, and we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, Tommy Dreamer's been suspended. I don't know what to think on it. I'm not the person who can prosecute people. I'm not the person who can give out the punishments. I don't know what the punishment should be to people, but I do think they've had 20 years of no repercussions. So if anything bad happens now, where they either lose advertisers, lose jobs, can't work in the wrestling business anymore, then fuck it, you deserve it. You know what I mean? You've had 20 years free to do what you want without any repercussions. So now you kind of have to deal with it. I hate this thing where people keep saying it was a different time. Well, as the kind of person I am, and the stories I've heard from my nan and my granddad and my dad, these stories of it was a different time do not wash for me. Not when there's things what I've seen with, like, people in my family being beat up and racially abused, and people going to war in my family and then coming back and still being racially abused when they fought for a country. People, they can't use that on me, that it's in the past. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work like that. All these people are being held accountable now for sexual assault from the 80s and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, I don't believe every victim. I feel like sometimes there's a bandwagon to jump on. But for me, and I mean this from anything, if 20 women come out and say that somebody's raped them and only one of them are telling the truth, well, you should be punished either way because you've done it, whether it was one, whether it was 20. So that's how I feel on it. So Brocky is right. All Keith needs now is to assemble fucking Voltron. Maurice Reigns, what did Brock do? Brock's story was in the documentary, obviously. Terry Runnels, she had said that Brock was kind of like offering himself up to her. I think he said it was in front of Dustin, actually. And that's when he had showed himself off and got naked in front of her, and kind of, all Brock really has to do is just apologize. You know what I mean? But obviously, she was told to keep things quiet, and I think that's where it comes in, that the women ain't even allowed to speak. So by the time they are ready to speak, it's years and years ago. or years and year in the future, and then people start not believing them, or people start having things to say, and that's the reason why Tommy Dreamer's in trouble, because he kind of just alluded to it was just boys being boys kind of thing. Rick was just doing what Rick does. And why did the woman take any money? If it was that bad, why didn't she go to the authorities? Maybe the only choice she had was to take the money. You know what I mean? Like I said, her husband told her not to say anything. The airline who she worked for told her not to say anything because it was an airline who were taking care of athletes and stuff like that for their reputation. And you know, if that's going to happen, and you've got to work in this shithole who don't protect you, then take the money, because otherwise you're going to be broke, jobless, husbandless, and have a bad name and probably can't work again. So I don't really blame people like that. It's completely different if it goes all the way and it ends up being like a rape case or something like that. Then you kind of have a duty to, you know, for the next woman that somebody might try it with, you kind of have a duty to get this guy prosecuted. But I'm not a woman and I don't know what it feels like, and I'm pretty sure certain things are kind of scary. So yeah, that's what I think on it. They take this is why drinking and smoking is really bad for people's health. Yeah, I mean, there's loads of things in the documentary. I think they said that the woman said that they had to fill up 3 trolleys full of alcohol because it kept running out, and obviously everyone was plastered on there. There's a few things that happened on there. Obviously, the stories we heard before sounded more like men being idiots, like people being drunk and playing tricks on each other. The Mr. Perfect and Brock Lesnar fighting and nearly fighting by the plane door while the plane was in the air and stuff like that, and proper wrestling. I think Michael Hayes getting his ponytail chopped off by X-Pac and all those kind of things. So it's a bit wild, to be honest. But yeah, flipping hell. That's where I kind of want to leave it. I kind of want, like I said, I weren't fussed about covering it as such, but people were asking in the comment section, so I thought I'd just cover it. To me, it probably doesn't. It's a big deal, but it's not shocking to me because I heard most of these stories over 10 years ago, maybe more. Like I said, I actually went to the pay-per-view that they were coming back from in England, so a bit weird for me to hear all these stories now. But the worst thing is we know there's more stories. There's more cover-ups. There's more. Oh no, there's more women who have gone through stuff and can't say anything or were scared to say something. Hopefully, you know, I don't expect that of this generation of wrestlers, though. I will say that. So there's positives that I don't feel like the wrestlers that are here now, one, will be able to get away with any of this rubbish, and two, they're kind of different. That's why when Undertaker made them statements before the men were men and had a knife in my bag when we were wrestling, now they're playing video games. Well, I'm kind of happy they're playing video games, and I'm pretty sure the women are happy that they're playing video games as well, instead of having like to deal with misogyny and sexism and all this business. This is long, man. It's not even worth it. It's just long. Like, let the women just work in peace. Let everyone work in peace by that as well, because you know I'm pretty sure there's going to be more gay wrestlers in the future who all have said that they've had the people have made it hard for them to work and stuff like that. So this is not the first scandal of wrestling, and it won't be the last scandal. We'll have to see what happens with Impact and Tommy Dreamer. For me, I can't see him coming back, but you never know. For Ric Flair, he's obviously an older gentleman now. He's in his 70s. I think at this point, if he can't get no work, then, you know, just retire on the money you got. And yeah, kind of be thankful that the 20 years went by and had no repercussions, because now if the repercussions are only losing advertisements and losing your job in pro wrestling, then, you know, you can't really complain. You know what I'm saying? Could have been worse, could have been locked up. So, and issue the fucking woman an apology, whoever done something. And like I say, if you believe you never done anything and that's what you're saying, then yeah, that's the case. Then you said you didn't do it, then that's yours. But anyway, enough of that plane ride talk. Brocky Kaiser, Savage, did you hear that 15,000 people left Raw when Charlotte segment started? Do you think it has something to do with Ric Flair and people when they see? Is that 1,500 or? It can't be 15,000. There weren't even 15,000 in attendance, I don't think. I don't believe that, Rocky. I'm not saying you're obviously you got it from somewhere, but I don't believe that happened. Even if you look back at the segment, it doesn't look like people left like that. But if it is true, um, that can be the only reason because Charlotte's a big deal, Alexa's a big deal. I don't think that many people would have left. And I think Charlotte. I mean, we know that she's Charlotte Flair, but to be honest, and I'm not. I know I'm a fan of Charlotte, but I don't ever think of Rick when I see Charlotte until they mention the title record. I never think of her. You know what I mean? People don't even call her Charlotte Flair most of the time. They just call her Charlotte. Rick's not in the company anymore. Um, she's a dope wrestler. She's dope on the mic. I don't really think of it, so I don't know if that's true. I don't know if you meant 1,500 and not 15,000. It's probably 1,500 if you did mean anything, because 15,000 people, they wouldn't even be able. They wouldn't even be able to leave the stadium that quick. That segment was long, but it wasn't that long. But then again, didn't even get like extreme boos or anything when she was speaking. So I think they kind of separated it, but there's dangers of certain things leaking now. That's why I feel like Rick's gonna have. I don't know, unless he can prove himself innocent, he might have to let it all blow over and stay away from the business because it's not good for people like Charlotte anyway. It's not fair on her. It won't be fair on like Andrade. Although as we've seen Andrade, continue to work with Alberto, no problem at all. So I'm pretty sure that the Rick thing won't bother him. He won't. In fact, Andrade won't care one bit. He worked with Alberto fine, and that case wasn't even over. So, oh yeah, you did mean 1,500. Yeah, I thought you did because that would have been crazy if it was 15,000. I was about to say I'm pretty sure the attendance was probably like 14,000 or something like that. But yeah, I'll look into it, but I don't believe it. And for the people who whatever dirt sheets or news places come out with that story, it's almost impossible to get that kind of statistics, like who was counting, like which person, while the segment was going on, turned around and was like, gone. Because you got to remember, when you leave a stadium, you don't have to check out. You just leave. You check in to get to the stadium. You show them your ticket to scan it, but you don't check out. You just leave. So I can't see that being right. But yeah, like I said, guys, this was just a random Savage Talk extra. We've got Thursday coming. I wanted to leave it a little bit later anyway because we've got Extreme Rules and all the matches ain't been set yet. I'm actually not looking forward to Extreme Rules. I'm kind of like whatever because the matches don't appeal to me just yet. Some of them do, some don't. Some feel like repetitive stuff. As far as we know, there's not many gimmick matches on there. And like I said at the beginning of this stream, for people who weren't there, I'm ready for WWE to get rid of the names of these pay-per-views now. Get rid of them. Bring back the old ones, but don't have anything to do with the match. Backlash, Unforgiven, Armageddon, No Way Out, things like that. Judgment Day, Bad Blood, because all these matches, these gimmicks were Hell in a Cell, and we get one Hell in a Cell match. Extreme Rules, we get no Extreme Rules match. TLC, we get one TLC match. It's kind of silly now. And also, even with Money in the Bank, I liked Money in the Bank when it was at WrestleMania. It felt way more important. Now, I know now there's more than one Money in the Bank. There's the women's one and the men's one. But it actually takes care of a lot, because if you do the women's one and the men's one at WrestleMania, the WrestleManias we watch now end up being like 6-7 hours long, 5 at the minimum. And I just think, who wants like this? Whether it was AEW, WWE, Impact, New Japan, I don't want to watch wrestling for 5 hours plus unless the matches mean something. And there's no way you can get 5 hours of meaningful matches. So do that. It takes care of a lot of the women. It takes care of a lot of the men who are not being used properly. It takes care. How many people are in the Money in the Bank matches? 6 minimum, and you can have 8 in there. That takes care of 16 superstars. And on top of that, we can have all the other matches. I'm here for it, man. 3 up, 3 down, Jack. What are you saying, brother? Like that. Yeah, man. Roman Reigns match is an Extreme Rules match. Yeah, I know somebody said it earlier in the chat, but that's the only match at the moment. What is a match? What has any kind of say gimmick to it, but any kind of stipulation. I'm not asking for a lot, but you definitely need an Extreme Rules match. You can give us like a Falls Count Anywhere match. Um, you don't need a lot, but you just need a couple, man. I just don't like the fact that the pay per views are named after matches. Think about all the matches I just said. All the best ones you've seen of that was never at that pay per view. The best Hell in a Cell match you've seen was never at Hell in a Cell. The best uh, TLC match you've seen was at SummerSlam, probably. Best one in the match you've probably seen is probably at WrestleMania as well. So, um, yeah, brother, hope you well, man. Hope you well. To jump on one day. I think Brock Lesnar is going to get involved. Yeah, me too. I think it makes sense if the Finn's not going to beat Roman, so but they need to keep the Demon looking strong. I don't know how they're going to play it after that because I feel like we're going to end up getting Goldberg versus Lashley at Saudi Arabia and Roman versus Brock at Saudi Arabia. So maybe that's what they do. He interferes in that match. He fights Roman at Saudi Arabia, and then Finn gets his rematch at some other point. But yeah, it's going to be weird because Brock Lesnar's never the kind of guy to interfere into people's matches. He doesn't really need to, but we'll see. Brocky, WWE make pay per view like Hell in a Cell because they don't want to create stories where the rivalry has to end in a Hell in a Cell match. They are just lazy. It's very lazy because that was what the Hell in a Cell was for. It was the be all and end all. It was finally you're trapped together now. The person who was cheating and trying to run away can't get away now. You're locked in a cage or cell together. Let's do it one more time. Even the vignettes where people were like, "Oh, if you go into Hell in a Cell, you lose something. There's something different about you when you come out." It's different now, man. 3 up, 3 down. Thoughts on new NXT style? I don't like it, but I'm willing to give it a chance. The first one didn't blow me away. Luckily for them, there was a few funny things on there that I was looking forward to. I like the entrance. That's the only thing I like about it. I like the entrance, but everything else too colorful, too small, where the fans are sitting and stuff like that. It doesn't feel important now. So, shout out to Dexter in the chat. Yowie wowie, you know them vibes. Who do you think AEW needs to sign for WWE to look at them as competition? No one. They do look at them as competition. They're just not going to say it out in public. They have to. They have to look at them as competition. Come on, man. Some of their main guys have gone there. Adam Cole's there. Daniel Bryan's there. So they're definitely competition. Why would your top stars go to somewhere else? Crazy. What time we got on here? Who else? 3 up, 3 down. You saw that William Regal's son is in it. Oh, you know about Bailey Matthews? Is that what you're talking about? I know that's the only William Regal's son I know. He was on. Bailey Matthews is actually really good. He was on NXT UK the last time I'd done a reaction to him, probably about 3 months ago. He's dope, man. But that's the only person. That's the only son I know who's got Bailey Matthews, so he's pretty dope. Is that the same person you're talking about, or is it somebody different? I know we got Rick Steiner's son there as well. So that's he's dope. He looks a lot like his dad. Crazy. Yeah, changed his name and repackaged him. Oh, really? What did they change his name to? They didn't need to do that, man. I like how he was, man. He had that old school feel about him. The Fiend, 31st of October in AEW at Halloween. Probably. I don't know if he'll be the Fiend, though. In fact, I know he won't be the Fiend. I don't know. My favorite Bray Wyatt's not the Fiend, so my favorite Bray Wyatt is the Eater of Worlds. Bray Wyatt is the man. Follow the buzzards. It was that Bray Wyatt family Bray, and he could turn up in AEW and boss it. But all the supernatural stuff from wrestling now kind of has to go. It's not relevant anymore. Savage, did you hear about another up and coming UK November? I just booked the tickets, bro. 5th of November. That's when I'm going, Birmingham. So yeah, thanks for that, bro. But I booked it just. Off the top of my head, couldn't tell you. I reckon the Fiend's gonna be the new lead. Yeah, I think that's a general consensus. Everyone thinks that. They're being going to shit a little bit. The Dark Order. They look like they need a leader. It'd be a tribute to Brody. He won't be the Fiend though. I don't think he'll be the Fiend, and it wouldn't make sense the Fiend leading the Dark Order either, because the Fiend doesn't talk. He screams and says "Yowie Wowie," but he doesn't talk. So maybe he'll come back with a mask. It could be anyone. He could be called the Fear for all I know. But Bray Wyatt is such a genius that whatever he does is going to make a massive impact. For me, it could end up bigger than CM Punk's return, or just as big, because CM Punk's was pretty big. But he was in Chicago. But I think people love Bray, and the fact of how he got released from WWE, people want to be behind him even more. So, um, for who do you think takes the belt off Roman? This is a question I get asked all the time, man. I said before Finn or Edge, and I might stick with that, but it's going to depend on the draft. It is going to depend on the draft. I think Roman's going to stay on SmackDown. I think Drew McIntyre is going to go over there. I don't want him to take the belt. I would personally want it to be Edge in the future, and then because he needs another title run and he needs it to be prestigious as well. So, Amin, hello Savage, shout out to you, Amin. How much are the tickets? They start from 54, I think, bro. The different tiers on it. So you got 54, 60 something pounds, 80 something. Then there's the VIP ones, which are free. They've lowered the meet and greet ones now to like 300 and something pounds. And then the other VIP section ones, I don't know, I can't remember what their tickets are called. They're like 200 or something, but I don't really give a damn about like the meet and greets anymore, man. It's too much money. Has to be The Rock at some point, Maury says. It's a weird one for me, that man, because The Rock taking it. Honestly, Morris, I think that's most people's consensus to think it will be The Rock at WrestleMania 38. But I don't know about The Rock, man. I don't know if like him with all his Hollywood movies and that trying to get him in is a bit crazy. The fact that if he wins the title, he's gonna have to stay around for a little bit at least, and he ain't gonna stay around. I mean, last time he was making movies and he wasn't as big as he was now. When he came back, he beat CM Punk for the title, and then he lost it to John Cena at WrestleMania. If I'm correct, and I'm probably wrong, but wasn't it that he won it at Royal Rumble against CM Punk and lost it at WrestleMania, which is January, February, March, April? He had it for about 3 months, and he didn't turn up that often. I mean, the 3 months they could do that again, but then who beats The Rock? Probably Roman again on it. So we'll see. Roman Reigns win at Extreme Rules. Roman wins at Crown Jewels. Roman goes to WrestleMania 38, and the final match: Roman versus The Rock for the Universal title. The Rock will winner and end Roman domination as Tribal Chief. Don't know, man, because like I said, The Rock's going to leave Roman, and then Roman's going to be left behind. I don't know, man. I don't know. You damn near could have Roman lose the title in a cheap way, and let him have a meltdown trying to get it back. But we'll see. Or at least have him face Roman and have Roman retire him for good. Yeah, I would prefer that. I would prefer that. Imagine if Roman retires The Rock, it makes him even bigger, Roman, and then the person who takes the title off him is over forever because you beat Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is that good now. He's definitely the best wrestler in the world at the moment, and Roman Reigns is that good now that he has people even forgetting about anything they didn't like before because he's so good. That's the perfect job right there. So, yeah, we'll do last 10 minutes, guys. Q&A, just ask whatever you want, and then I'll jump off because I got football to watch, bro, and I got to edit some more stuff. I got other videos for the other channel as well. So, yeah, man. Hey guys, Undertaker for Hall of Fame 2022. Undertaker, greatest legend. Yeah, it probably is the biggest legend, to be honest. I personally, let me just get it up on my phone a minute because I'm pretty sure. Uh, Wait there, let me get this up. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I was just confused then because WrestleMania 39 is the one in Hollywood, isn't it? And obviously the pandemic ruined everything. It would have been a year. Oh mate, I'm going to WrestleMania in Hollywood. I'll tell you that much. But Savage, are you going to do any more Try Not to Laughs on Hugo Online? Maybe some Tyro Magnus, Booker T, Hodge Twins. Yeah, I will, bro. I will. I'm not doing no Tyro Magnus ones. I love the guy, man, but I had to stop watching him because I do the same thing. So I'm not going to do any Tyro Magnus ones, but he's a G. But yeah, Booker T, Hodge Twins. I'll do more. I'll do more, bro. I'm not, I haven't been lazy with it because I've been doing other stuff, but I have neglected that channel a little bit more. I'm going to put more effort into it because, to be honest, this channel's great. But I get so much copyright stuff on this channel that it does become annoying. It feels like I'm creating content, putting work in to do stuff, and then it ends up just getting striked. Some of the stuff get banned, which means that by the time that video gets to like 300 views, you don't even get to see it because it just disappears. Um, but yeah, like I said, WrestleMania 38, and it was Dexter who said Undertaker has to be Undertaker. It's in Texas. It's in Texas. People like Austin are already in the Hall of Fame. I think it makes perfect sense, and it'll probably be the biggest Hall of Fame moment there is. And then the year after in Hollywood, I'll induct The Rock, um, and maybe that's where we get The Rock versus Roman. You got to remember, like, Rock doesn't have to be the first person to beat Roman. Roman doesn't have to lose the title and then become a bum all of a sudden. He can be like Brock Lesnar. Every time Brock Lesnar loses the title, he doesn't just start losing singles matches all of a sudden. You know what I mean? It's still a big deal. So do you think SmackDown is better than Raw? Yeah, 100%. I think whoever beats Roman, it has to be an up and coming star and make a statement by beating Roman. Yeah, I agree. Probably if they done Karrion Cross right, that would have been good. But obviously, he's not a babyface. Keith Lee sounds like something good. So there's a few people, um, but we'll see. Tribal Chief versus Tribal Thor. That's true. I can believe Damien Priest versus Sheamus and Jeff Hardy this Sunday. Yeah, I'm here for that. Morris, who will induct Taker? Kane, who will induct The Rock? Roman. I don't. I'm going to be deadly honest. I don't think Roman should induct The Rock because their career paths never really crossed. They have no. The Roman has no influence on The Rock's career at all. Yeah, the family, but uh, I would have honestly Triple H or Austin induct The Rock. Probably Austin. Seriously, probably Austin. I would just go for the greatest feud. And with Undertaker, it's a shame that Paul Bear is dead, isn't it? Because he would have been perfect. But Kane's definitely top of the list that I can think of the top of my head. I'm gonna say this, man. I think that Undertaker probably should be inducted into the Hall of Fame by Vince McMahon. There, it's damn near his best friend. He's always believed in the Undertaker. It's kept him, you know what I mean? I know that Vince McMahon might make mistakes from here or there, but he's always been right by Undertaker. They seem to, you know what I mean? So, I mean, okay, Savage, see you Thursday for Extreme Rules prediction show. Yeah, we'll do it. I'll put the schedule up early, actually, so you can just put it on reminder. Uh, do you think Roman Reigns is going to Hollywood after WWE? Yeah, I do. I don't think he'll be major like John Cena or The Rock, but I think you'll see him in a few parts. They actually asked him on the with Ariel Hawani on the BT interview about what, and he said, "Once I'm done everything with wrestling, what I want to achieve." then I'll be happy to try acting. And obviously, he said he can't take bumps forever, and he's moving towards the later 30s now. So, um, to be fair, quite a few of the wrestlers are around the same age, isn't it? So it's a bit mad, but it's like moving in cycles. We need more fatal 4-way, 5-way matches for the titles. What happened to those matches? Imagine Biggie versus Bobby. Oh, you say that, bro. I literally said that on my reaction video earlier, that exact match. And yeah, we were getting them, man. We were getting good ones. We had the what was it, Finn, Samoa Joe, Roman, Brock. We had Brock, Seth, John Cena. We've had some great triple threats and fatal 4-way matches, man. So I definitely agree with you. We got Orton versus JBL versus Cena versus Triple H back in the day for the W title. What happened? Yeah, exactly. It feels like they stop at triple threats now. So it feels like they don't go past triple threats. Also, I think as well, especially with the women, when you want to change in title and you don't want the person to look weak, then fatal 4-ways and stuff are perfect because you don't need to be pinned. I don't have big hopes, but I do hope, for the sake of Liv Morgan and Carmella, more Liv Morgan than anything, that they put on a good match on Extreme Rules. I know she got to fight Selena Vega on SmackDown, but Carmella doesn't need it as much, but Liv does, man. She can't do this, keep getting pushed forward and going backwards. And some of it's WWE and some of it's her as well, because her character's not airtight. Like, she's got the look, she can speak kind of, but it comes out a bit whiny sometimes, where it's like she just starts crying for no reason, and it doesn't really sit well with me, man. That's the feeling I had earlier when I listened to Nikki Cross speak. I'm like, flipping hell. To be fair, the last time we got the kind of match was at SummerSlam 2017, Joe versus Brock versus Oh, that's what it was, Braun. I was like, who did I say? Finn. There was another one with Finn in it. I watched that the other day, I think. When Finn had the burgundy colours on. But yeah, man, we definitely need it. We definitely need it. But like I said, at the moment, it seems to be just loads of triple threat matches and not much more. And the same with the tag teams as well. Let's get some of them going. I know there's less tag team men as well now, but yeah, I do think in the next 2 years we got to put the brands back together. I think the SmackDown and Raw being separate thing, it's a bit, that showed me earlier watching the New Day and the Bloodline how popping it can be. We don't need Roman or whoever the champion is on the Raw or SmackDown every single week. And if we do have them, they don't have to be wrestling. That's why Roman looks so good. I'm surprised we're even getting a Liv and Zelina match at pay-per-view. Never mind. I mean, Morris, don't hold your breath, bro, because we don't know if it's going to be on the kickoff show yet. So we know that we can be excited now, and then by the time it gets to the show, it's on the kickoff show. Because I'm going to be deadly honest with you, I can't believe WWE would put this on as a regular singles match. So we'll see. But yeah, Savage, do you think this Shayna destroying people will continue? Yeah, it seems like she's gonna have this thing where she destroys people and snaps, and then doesn't know what she's done and feels bad, and then can't. It's a recycled Randy Orton gimmick when he used to kick people and then feel bad after. But I'm not against it. I like Shayna a lot, but my thing is sometimes you can get to the point where it doesn't feel believable anymore. Now, luckily for her, she has the look, she still has the moves and stuff. But just watching over the last few months, just be like treated like anything. The next big person in the women's division again will probably be Asuka when she returns again, because people will miss her. Hopefully, she comes back as heel. But we'll see. Edge is good. We'll see revenge for the final finish of Rollins. Edge can be very extreme when it comes to chairs. Yeah, listen, I said this before that. The only thing is, they made it seem like what Seth done to him would have him out of action for a very, very long time. But if not, Extreme Rules, put them in a TLC match. In fact, can you do that? There's nothing for them to climb a ladder for. But maybe climb a ladder for a contract that says that they can't have a match again. But I would have some kind of Extreme Rules match for them too. 100%. 100%. Falls Count Anywhere or something. To be fair to Edge, is that like a few mixed matches since he's been back? Because he had that greatest wrestling match with Randy. He had that falls count anywhere type one as well when they were in the gym, and then I think it finished on top of the lorry. So yeah, man. All right, guys, I'm about to head off because, like I said, I got Liverpool match to watch in a bit. Edit some more stuff, put some more stuff on the other channel as well. But guys, thanks for joining me because I know you didn't have to. Obviously, it was random compared to when it normally is. Let me know if you like the more random style of live streams. Doesn't mean we'll get rid of Thursday's Savage Talk, but I mean sometimes the stuff that come out in midweek and I have to wait until Savage Talk. If you don't mind having 2 or 3 hours notice for a live stream, maybe a little bit shorter than this half an hour, then let me know in the comment section because that way it's a little bit easier for me. I can just turn the camera on. It's not the same as making another video. This is just live streaming, whereas the other ones I have to edit more stuff. So let me know. But let's read Morris's last question. The thing, obviously, unless I want to be a tag team superstar on the main roster, it's not having Robert Roode and Single Street going in after starting. Yeah, I agree, bro. I agree. But yeah, man, thanks for joining me, Morris, Brocky, Dexa. Few users left already. Amin, Tidra. Shout out to everyone in the chat, man. It's been dope, man. So there's 9 of you watching, and there ain't, you know what I mean? I don't even think there's 9 people commenting. So shout out to you lot. Thanks for joining me. I will be back. Definitely, I got NXT videos tomorrow for you guys anyway. And AEW Dynamite, which is looking like it's going to be dope. Daniel Bryan, Kenny Omega. We're going to do that. So, yeah, man, I'm here for it, like that. Was bored on Sunday, was wishing you that you'd put out a random stream. To be fair, you're probably never going to get random ones on Sunday because I have another football on top of the Hugo Online. I do a football channel as well, and the games are on Saturday and Sunday. So, but yeah, I'll put some more random ones out, man. Just make sure you got the notification bell clicked, and then it should be fine. But yeah, man, been dope, guys. You already know the drill already, man. I've been your boy the Savage. Comment, like, subscribe, and share. If you watch this later, hit the like button. Run.